This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to The Big Fight. It's been nearly a week since Osama bin Laden was killed in a rather daring American strike right in the heart of the Pakistani military establishment. And ever since Osama bin Laden was killed, a question has been asked here in India. What about India's most wanted? What can possibly be done to get them to justice? Do we rely on the Pakistani legal system and other methods? Do we rely on pressure on Pakistan to bring these men to justice? Is there anything else that can be done? And that's been one of the biggest subjects of discussion. I am going to take you through, in just a couple of minutes, the rogues gallery of just some of the people who are missing, who are hiding, apparently in Pakistan. But before I do that, I want to introduce the panel. And we have an absolutely fantastic panel of people who've really grappled with this issue for decades, if not longer. First of all, it gives me great pleasure to welcome on to The Big Fight Eli Badalskarakovsky, the Deputy Chief of Mission of the Embassy of Israel. Thank you so much for being here. Israel, in many ways, has set the norms or the precedents for how a situation like this can be dealt with. Your experience is going to be absolutely fantastic. Mr. Amarjit Dullat needs very little further introduction as the man who headed the, what's it called? Do we still say Cabinet Secretariat, or should we just call it RAW? He was the person who actually really handled this and has come up with all sorts of plans in the past. So we will ask you what can be done. Now, Mukul Deva has got that same advantage as I once did when I was a thriller writer, that we can allow our minds to run free. And Mukul, you did exactly that, and you have no doubts. In a book that you wrote called Lashkar, very simple. You sent in special operatives, covert action groups, like the Americans did, and you had them killing who all? Osama bin Laden, of course, was picked up. Hafiz Saeed, Dawood Ibrahim, they were all gone in your thrillers. And is that the way to go? Bishra Mansukani is a survivor of the 26/11 Mumbai attacks and feels very strongly that when Indian blood is spilled, it is not really avenged or dealt with and justice isn't given. Great to have you with us. General Patankar, it's wonderful to have you back with us. You've been a corps commander, you've been with Special Forces. Wonderful to have you with us. Our guest from Pakistan, it gives me great pleasure to welcome Vice Air Chief Marshal Shehzad Chaudhry, joining us from Islamabad, and sitting next to him, Hamid Mir, Bureau Chief, Geo TV. Thank you both so much for being with us. Walter Anderson is also joining us from Washington, from the School of Advanced International Studies. To start this particular program, I just want to play for you the rogues gallery. What is it that we are talking about? Osama bin Laden, he's dead. He's been killed. And Al-Qaeda has accepted that. But here are just some of the men who are still free, and they've been living rather happily for a long time. I'm just going to bring this up. Can we just put up a map of Pakistan? Because actually, that's where all of these people seem to be hiding as well. There you have it. This is Pakistan. This is where Osama bin Laden was. This is also where Dawood Ibrahim is, Clifton area of Karachi, the man who masterminded the 1993 Mumbai blast, financier for Al-Qaeda. There are some reports, of course, that he's now gone off for a hill vacation or in Saudi Arabia, but his issues should also be of concern to the world, because his smuggling routes are being used by Al-Qaeda. That's why some people say he's the second most wanted man in the world. And ISI, of course, uses him for all of its operations in India. So this is Dawood Ibrahim. What can be done for him? Hafiz Muhammad Saeed, the leader of the Jamaat-ud-Dawa. Now, he keeps saying this is just a charitable organization, but he was the man who started and founded the Lashkar-e-Toiba, and a lot of people will still find it hard to believe he has nothing to do with it. Where does he live? Well, he's got a nice little complex in Muridke, just outside Lahore. He's got a home in Lahore itself. So he's not in hiding. He came out in a public gathering to declare his sympathies for Osama bin Laden and to lead prayers for him. He's the man who was involved in the 2001 attack on Parliament, but the real case against him was established after the 26/11 attacks in Mumbai. And of course, among the other many things that he does, he regularly delivers inflammatory speeches against India and against the rest of the world. No action yet taken by him. He was arrested briefly and then let off by the courts. People will question it. But there are a lot of others. Ilyas Kashmiri in North Waziristan, now one of the top leaders of Al-Qaeda itself. So again, he's somebody the entire world should be worrying about. But a key suspect in 2000 and in 26/11. Post-Osama, he's likely to be one of Al-Qaeda's main strategists. He's one of the biggest non-Arab Arabs in the Al-Qaeda's top leadership, touted as the next Osama bin Laden. He's fought in Kashmir. There's a $5 million bounty on his head by the United States. He's escaped a US drone strike in 2009. Maulana Masood Azhar, his base has, of course, been... There you have it, Maulana Masood Azhar. His base has been there in Bahawalpur. Mastermind of the 2001 attack, founder of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, one of the 3 militants released by India in 1999, was briefly put under house arrest by Pakistan, but is now roaming around happily and freely. I could go on and on and on, because I have here in these papers a list of at least 26 people whom we know of who are taking shelter in Pakistan. I haven't even got around to Sayyid Salahuddin. I haven't got to the Hizbul Mujahideen. I haven't got to a number of other militant groups. They're all there. They're all taking cover. And that's why people in India ask, what's being done about them? Mukul Deva, of course, has a simple solution, which he propounded in one of his thrillers. Go in and shoot them all.
No, not really. I think
that's
the point...
what you did. Yeah, okay, one of them was bombed.
That's what we did.
One of them was blown up by a bomb. The rest was shot.
But the point is that we are missing a point here. What if the US had not declared that they had taken out Osama? What if they had just gone in, picked him up and killed him or whatever? That is a covert operation. Some time back, a gentleman in a hotel in Dubai was killed. Everybody's trying to figure out who did it. So when we talk about covert operations, we don't need to publicize it. We need to send in 2-3 people, get rid of them one by one. We need not even send in people. We can hire people locally in Pakistan and get them to do it. That is a covert operation. Should we do it? Why not?
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.